Hi, so in this one I'm gonna be just marking out the walls and getting all those filled in. And this is for a 300 square foot, like a tiny home. And then you'll see where I've made my materials already, and I'm just going in and grabbing them and then retrofitting those into each space. Okay, so I probably should have done this at the very beginning, but say Libby. But redesigning the kitchen, I'm not sure what that thing is. Maybe it's supposed to be a dishwasher or the trash can? No clue. But that's the refrigerator, and of course that one's the stove. And then I'm guessing that's the washer and dryer. And then I'm going to start changing the floor plan and adding some windows. And yeah, I was like, is this AI? Did some AI design this floor plan? Yeah, I'm definitely going to take out the round table. That's just not very good. And the placement of the front door is not great either. So yeah, I'm going to move the sink over and I'm going to add a window in front of it. And typically you want the fridge to be, visually out of the way. And at this point I was thinking, oh, I'll just move it beside the washer and dryer. But then it was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do about the stove? So now I'm like, okay, I need to figure out the actual dimensions. So I came up with, it's not really 300 square feet. It's more like 306. Because the bathroom is most likely a 5x7. And a 5x7 is typical for just a standard bathroom. And if they put a tub in it with the toilet and sink like that, that's usually the sizes, and that's just something that I knew. So I figured out that it is 17.5 by 17.5. And yeah, here I'm marking that wall's 5 feet, and then that wall should be 7 feet. And then usually the wall dimension for thickness is at least 5 inches for drywall and the studs. So yeah, here I'm making it 10 feet long for the kitchen on that side. And I already know that washer and dryers are at least 33 inches wide, and fridges are 36 and technically should be 37 to allow space around the sides for it to breathe. And then stoves are 30 for just a standard. And here I'm just marking, 24 depth for the counters. Technically 25 and a half, but to allow for the countertop. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, maybe this is supposed to be a dishwasher, which that would make absolutely no sense for them to put it on the other side of the fridge. But who knows? And then I was like, well, maybe I should change the way that the door is on the bathroom and flip it. But then I was like, no, I think I'm just going to change where the washer and dryer is and just put it in the bedroom. Even though that does take up closet space. But it seems like the best way to go. And here I'm changing where the entrance is for the door. And figuring out my pathways for walking around and entering in certain rooms and things like that. So I'm like, no more door here. And we're gonna make the window bigger and fit for the sink. So yeah, adding in the washer and dryer over here, making that bigger. Typically they're 30 inches deep, 33 inches wide. And just doing like the stacked washer and dryer. Even though apparently they've made better washer and dryer combos. So hopefully they'll do a better job at that, and then it'll just be an all-in-one. Even though I used one in Europe and it was not good. Yeah, I'm here adding washer and dryer and then just a regular cabinet door on the side. Shoving the refrigerator over in the corner. Okay, so now I'm just figuring out just to do a regular island that's, 30 by 36 and just have 2 seats on the edge. Okay, so here I'm fixing a door. I've taken away all my messy red marks And here we go. Moving door, first thing. And I figured out that 4 squares will equal 36 inches. So each square is 9 inches. So that's where I'm kind of figuring out sizes for different appliances. And of course, you usually want your sink to be facing out a window. So of course, if it's a small space, you want as many windows as you can. At least most people do. And then here I was like, I guess we can just put the stove here. And then it was like, wait, no, of course not. It's gonna go over there by the fridge. Because usually that's your focal point. And here I'm just marking out where the upper cabinets would go. And thinking just doing like a couple open shelves for that part. Help it seem just as big and bright for such a small space. So now marking off the island, make sure I have enough walking space around and for seating. And here we go. This is way better. Makes so much more sense. Now adding in flooring. And you can see that I centered the stove from the fridge to the wall so it's more centered. And there we go. I added an outside porch, adding more colors. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for joining me, and see you next time. Thanks.